it's great to have, and it has been great to have your perspectives all season long. I mean, we had some thoughts about what the offense would be at the beginning of the season, and then as it has evolved, I think that we have seen the entire offense grow. But I think we've witnessed the evolution of Josh Gaddison. Here's where I'm going with this. In the offseason, he said, and Al, you'll remember I shared with you this conversation. I didn't stick with the run enough. Last year, when he had a couple of quarterbacks that were new, that were green, he liked the talent. Really felt like there were some things that could be unlocked in the pass game and the throw game. And as they got into the season, a lot of those things were open. And he tried to keep hitting, even when the quarterbacks were inconsistent with hitting them, or they didn't necessarily have the protection. Always, he kept calling them. He said, if I had to do over again, I'd run the football more. We got into this season, the Washington game ran it down their throats. But really the test to me was the Wisconsin game. Both of you guys will remember this because you detailed it. Both of you did. All the plays that were left on the field in the first quarter, first 17 minutes, is like 4 touchdowns. Be very easy for an offensive coordinator to fall in love with his stuff and to keep calling out, I'm going to call 50 pass plays. He didn't do that, Al Borges. He ran the football, found a way to run the football, still threw it some, but stuck with that run all season.
Yeah, and that's what I thought the evolution of the offense is when we first started watching Michigan a couple years ago when Coach Gaddis got here, they were a lot of RPOs. They were doing a lot of what they wanted to do, or what they did do at Alabama. And as he's evolved more and kind of evaluated what he's got, a lot of the RPOs have gone away. Now, they're not gone. There's still, 5 to 7, maybe as many as 9 in a game, but nothing like it was. So what's happened is you're running into more loaded boxes, and you're dependent more on your running backs than you're dependent on your quarterback, which for this group is probably the best approach. Now, there's going to be ugly plays. You're going to run some plays, and you go, oh, God, there's too many bodies. I remember Penn State. I mean, goodness gracious, they had the water boy lined up inside the box. But they just decided, and smartly so, in my opinion, anyway, that we're going to pound them. We're not going to bubble them. We're going to bully them. That was how we talked about a couple of weeks ago. We're not going to bubble them. We're going to bully them. And I think that was the biggest change, is taking the ball, being less quarterback dependent and being more running back offensive line dependent.
And Devin, one of the things that we've been talking about since the very first game is how you use 2 quarterbacks effectively without affecting your starter, and at the same time growing your backup, your relief pitcher up in a way that's functional, that helps you, that isn't just one play here, one play there. They got to the point where they give him multiple plays, and you really could feel the contribution more of JJ McCarthy as the season went on. And as you said, hey, this has the potential to make K better, not worse.
Yeah, I mean, I said that, and I was spot on. I mean, K played so much better because, like I always talked about, a lot of people think, oh, you don't like K, you don't like K. It's not that I don't like K. I know that K is limited, and I know that we need more to be able to win the things that, Michigan wants to win. And so, but I also know he has pride, right? And so I thought that he's got a little butthole in him, right? Like you can tell by the way he walks around, the way he does his interviews, that he has some pride. And so I thought that for sure, if you implant JJ, it's going to force him to play better because people are going to see how explosive, how talented, how amazing this kid is, and if you don't play well, you're going to be called to be sat down. You know what I mean? And so I think that he did a good job of playing well, and I think that JJ came in and played. I mean, I remember going in, Coach Borges with the deuce package with me and Denard, and going in, and I would play well. But I didn't play nearly as well as this kid did in spot duty. You know what I mean? He's going in and making explosive plays and not perfect, but almost close to perfect in the way that he's playing. And so I thought that was really special, and they need to continue to lean into that and not lean away from it.
And so that is, I think we all agree, going to be one of the keys to this game. My partner on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, Ira Weintraub, said the usage for JJ McCarthy in Big Ten play was about somewhere between 10-12%, right? And so in this game, though, against Georgia. You want to run the football like you always have, except this is the best front seven you have seen. And I don't necessarily think it's close. I mean, I wondered if they would see a better front seven than Wisconsin. Well, here you have it. How do you run on these guys? And it really feels like JJ McCarthy is or could be a major element, Al, and I know we'll detail this coming up. He could be a major element in them figuring out a way to run on this defense.
Yeah, and I mentioned this to you last week, is I just think against these guys, more than any team they played all year, that this kid's got to probably play between 15 and 20, maybe even more, to be able to run the football. Not that he's just in there to run the ball,
right?
Because I think Dev would probably agree with this. Is JJ is closer to what they want as a quarterback to run the offense I think Gaddis wants to run, but not quite ready to do it yet. I think that's how they justify it, and rightfully so. But in this game, just going back through, I went over every game now. I've seen every game they played so far.
Talking about Georgia.
Yeah, and there's a vulnerability to quarterback runs that they need to run on now. They're not easy to run on. And there are some runs you can run that aren't quarterback runs. So it's not all quarterback runs. But to make this thing go and to present more issues for them defensively, you're going to need some quarterback runs. And this kid's the best equipped to do it. Plus, he's not a guy you can just say it's going to be a quarterback. It's going to be a quarterback run, and there's no threat of pass, because he can bring to the table all the same things that the starting quarterback can, add the quarterback run. So a team that's that stout defensively needs to be attacked at every spot they look vulnerable, and they don't have a lot of vulnerable spots. So I think in this game, there's a spot for this kid to play more than he's played all year if you want to run the football with the type of effectiveness that they have to this point.